this is as real as it gets.
Hey, this is Marcia Prince, IFBB Bikini Pro and Guest Berry Nutrition spokesmodel, and you are listening to the UCW radio show, In Your Face.
The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number.
You're listening to UCW Radio.
In your face.
Give it to me, baby.
All right, welcome to the UCW radio show, and today we have another great guest on the show. As all of you pro wrestling fans know, the WWE and TNA / Impact Wrestling, they have their superstars on the roster, but they also have, just like other sports like baseball, they have their developmental organization, their farm system, so to speak, where they develop talent, bring them up, and try to produce some really awesome talent that they can feed off of and market well and brand well. And they've been doing this, and WWE has been doing it for some time. But what we try to do here on the UCW radio show is, from time to time, we'll bring on up and coming pro wrestlers to feature them, and these up and coming pro wrestlers we feel would probably be the next big thing hitting the scene. And today's no different. All right, so we are bringing you from Australia, and she is an amazing talent. And the reason we want to showcase a female wrestler is because I believe that area of pro wrestling is just beginning to be tapped into again. So I think that our next guest is going to be an asset to whatever major organization she gets picked up by. But I don't want to get too much into her story. I want her to tell her story in her words for you listeners to hear it for yourself. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming from Australia, Miss Niki Nitro to the show. Niki, welcome to the UCW radio show. How are you doing?
G'day, I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for taking time to come on the show. You're coming to us all the way from Australia.
I sure am. New South Wales, in a little place called Wollongong.
Okay, I'm not going to even attempt to repeat that, but go ahead.
You sure? You can try it.
Yeah, no. I think we had that little conversation about Melbourne, or I'm not getting into that now. Yes, I come from Wollongong. Okay. So most people refer to it as the Gong. The Gong. I can go with the Gong. I like it. I like the Gong. All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself before we go into anything further, because people stateside may not be too familiar with you, but you've been involved in pro wrestling for a while, for over a decade. Yeah, I got involved in 1999, and I first started out with a company called ACW, Australian Championship Wrestling, and I was taught under Andy Harpus. They call him Animal. And yeah, ever since then, I haven't looked back, and I'm still wrestling today, and I'm still got the passion for it, and the zest and the drive, and yeah, it's my second nature pretty much now. And you've traveled, or you've wrestled all over the world. Well, recently, in September, I was offered a tour with a company called LCW, Legend Championship Wrestling, in Newfoundland in Canada. And on the tour, I was with Rowdy Roddy Piper, Scott Steiner, Rhino, and indie sensation Colt Cabana. And from there, I've just, because for such a long time I've been in Australia and I've always just wrestled in Australia, I never branched out.
And yeah, going over there now, I've got more of a drive for it because I've seen the other side of the world, and yeah, like I want to take it as far as I can.
Yeah, I mean, you wrestling in Australia. You have a lot of top organizations that probably haven't had the opportunity to approach you to working with them as of yet.
In Oz, for about maybe the last 10 or so years, the Aussie indie scene has dropped a little bit, which is quite sad. Because when I first made my debut, I debuted in front of 3,500 people. And nowadays, like, if you don't promote the shows well, you're lucky to get 100.
Yeah, well,
but, sorry?
No, the indie scene is different. You know, people going to live shows, you know, they're more excited when you have a lot of people there. So they're looking at the WWE, they're looking at the TNAs and things like that, you know. So, yeah, a proper promotion is important because if not, you know, you're not going to get too many butts in the seats.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yep. To make money, you got to spend money.
Yeah, exactly. So now, how did you get involved in pro wrestling?
Through my father, actually. Like, when I was a little girl, we always used to watch the wrestling, and my grandfather, he wrestled, and he used to tape a lot of the WCW old school matches and gave them to my dad, and then, like, through there, I was always watching them, and my dad took me to my first indie show in Liverpool in Sydney, and that's where, like, I fell in love with it all over again. And it wasn't the high fly stuff for me. It was the main event, which was the coffin match. And I was like, wow, this is something that I want to do for the rest of my life.
Okay, and then this is something you've been doing. You've been training, and you've been performing, but you know you're not even close to being done with this.
No, not close at all. As they say, like, you know, there's so much to learn with wrestling, and that's the beauty of wrestling. No matter how long you're in the business for, there's always somebody out there that's going to be better than you, and it's just a process of, you know, like, of learning new things and, you know, like, creating that character that people either love or hate. So it's all a learning process.
Yeah, and you know the thing is with pro wrestling, and I mentioned the big organizations because you know again this is not a pro wrestling show. We're talking about real stuff, and in the real world, you know, you have big organizations. They're looking to put people in place that they can actually market to make them marketable. They want talented people on their roster in order to again put butts in the seats, sell merchandise, so on and so forth. Now, over the past, I don't know, 6 years or so, maybe a little longer than that, but I don't think too much longer than that, the scene in as far as the female pro wrestlers has changed. You see more talented women getting in the squared circle. Now, I mean, do you feel that being a big benefit to you now as opposed to 5 years ago?
Definitely, yes. Because, like, with the likes of Sarah Del Rey, she's made a massive impact on women's wrestling. And years ago, like, correct me if I'm wrong, like, the way that I saw things was that the women were officially eye candy only instead of, you know, a worker. And because the wrestling industry is so dominant with male, you know, like male testosterone, women are looked upon as though they should not belong in the square circle. But now, you know, like half the time there's a lot of women out there that are very crafted in their work and can actually wrestle a lot better than a man because they take pride in their work. So, like, nowadays, I believe, you know, there's more women getting into the sport and, you know, like, enjoying it. Unlike before, women were too afraid to step in a squared circle because they were, they were picked on.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, I mean, women pro wrestlers, they had their heyday in the time of the Fabulous Moolah and Wendy Richter and stuff like that, where, you know, they actually got in there and they wrestled, and, you know, some of them can get hardcore. But then there was a period where those women wrestlers didn't exist. You didn't have it. You had the pretty models walking around, with showing everything off and so on and so forth. And that was, you're right, that was the eye candy for the crowd. WCW did that with their Nitro girls, and WWE did it with just the women. I mean, they do it even now, but they're starting to get more talented women in the WWE. TNA has talented female wrestlers that can actually get down and dirty. WWE, they have talented women on the roster. I don't think they use them properly. And, that's why I think someone like yourself would be of interest to any of these two organizations, because you can wrestle with a woman, you can wrestle with a dude. You don't care.
Yeah.
You just want to get in there and do your thing.
That's it.
Right. So now you got into wrestling. Now, how was it for you when you first got into the ring? Your first time. Nobody forgets that. Your first time that you got into the ring.
My first time, I'll be brutally honest with you, I was petrified. I took my first bump, and I had head rattle for a week. And anybody that turns around and says that when they first start wrestling and they take their first bump, they don't have head rattle, they're lying. But when I debuted, I was freaking out, because when I originally made my debut, my character, I was called Wildfire, and I was a babyface, and I was versing a woman named Poison Ivy, and she was a veteran. And I was freaking out, and it was just that initial stage fright, looking at all those people focusing, on you and what you are, and especially the wrestling critics out there that are always nitpicking for certain things, if you stuff something up, or if something's appealing to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really nervous, and my thing is, when I'm in the ring, I'm always chewing gum. If I don't have chewing gum in my mouth or before I get out there in the squared circle, I get really, really bad butterflies. So it's I don't know, it's like a psychological thing. Now I have to stick some chewing gum in my mouth, then I'm happy.
Right.
But I still get nervous now, especially when you're in a new company or whatever, because there's people out there, that are gonna pick on every single little thing you do. But at the end of the day, it's a learning process.
No, it's definitely a learning process, and that first time, I mean, you can train, for a year, and you can be the most proficient technician that stepped into the squared circle. The issue is, when you get in there in front of people, different story altogether. Different story.
Yep.
You get in there, all of a sudden it's like you can have stage fright. And some people do. I've seen it. I've seen it happen. But you're beyond that at this point. For you, what are you doing with your wrestling today?
Today, in terms of, how do you mean?
Well, today, recently, currently, at this moment, what are you doing? Are you open to? Are you working now? Are you working shows? Are you looking to, travel around? What are you doing?
Oh, I'm working shows here, but I'm always open to traveling, because to get better, you have to work with different people, and different people know different things and can teach you. So all my options are open. But with Canada, for example, I learned so much in Canada, and I was only there for a short time, but just sitting down and listening to Rowdy Roddy Piper talk, about experiences and stuff like that, and speaking to Rhino and, asking questions, that's opened my eyes a lot more to this industry.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
Oh yeah, and Australia, don't get me wrong, I love my Aussie wrestling, but there is no room for growth. Back in the 70s, there was a lot of room for growth, but now there isn't, and you have to branch out, and you have to travel, and you have to go overseas internationally to gain more, like more exposure. Because at the end of the day, personally for me, I don't see wrestling as a hobby. I see it as a business and as, something that I want to do with my life. Mm. So, yeah, I'm pretty serious on that note.
Okay, and the only thing that's actually held you back is your location.
Yes.
Okay, but, you're in Australia, and you can probably you probably go and wrestle with the wallabies and the bilbies, whatever
kangaroos,
else, the kangaroos, the kangas, whatever you have going on over there.
The crocodiles,
the crocs, yeah. But you've been pushed, I guess, for you to be tougher than most women getting into the squared circle. You have to be to compete at this point where you are.
Definitely, yes. Because women over here, some companies are very for women, but then some companies are very against women.
Okay.
And I believe, to have a good show, women are so crucial to the product. And a lot of companies don't understand that. And like I've been saying it for years and years, everybody needs to have women on their show. Because women draw, they put bums on the seats. Mm-hmm. Even though some men don't like to admit that, it's true. So, yeah, women are very, very important.
Well, definitely, there's a need for that in pro mm-hmm. wrestling. That's why you see the WWE, they have, again, I don't take it as they do it seriously. Okay, it's like Diva Champion, okay, but TNA does it more seriously where, the girls actually get into it, so I know that in WWE they have the talent. They don't use it properly for them to, really capitalize on it. But look, even in MMA, a lot of the top women that fight, they draw a lot of viewers.
Yes.
Okay, because you got some freaky people out there. That's why.
Yeah, that's true.
No, but
everyone likes to see girls fight.
Yeah, exactly. But seriously, you have some talented fighters out there, and I think that there's a definite there's definite opening for this more, and I think for you, when you have two major organizations, and again. When you have TNA, they have a roster for this. Adding someone like you to their roster would be an asset. And WWE, I think adding you to their roster would be an asset because you can, I can see you getting in there with actual women that can actually wrestle and put on a great show because you can get down, and that's what they need over there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's my view anyway.
Thank you.
Well, I when I asked you to come on the show, it was because I believe that your future's bright in this arena. Okay, that your future's bright. The only thing is that the WWE, TNA, they have not called on you yet, but I don't think that's going to be far away. You're the person that trained you. Didn't he wrestle in these organizations?
Andy originally, he was old school, so like WCW. He wrestled with Hogan. He's wrestled it's really hard to explain with Andy. He was offered the opportunity to go over to the States, but he believed that he wanted to make it big in Australia. Mm-hmm. And so he never ventured over there, and he was successful over here. But then, unfortunately, the wrestling, because it was on TV and everything over here, the wrestling, died. And in, what was it, 2006 or 2005, I was sitting at the back with Andy at a show, before we was meant to go on, and his face dropped, and he never realized, but he'd had a stroke, and he ended up in a wheelchair. And
wow.
yeah, like it was really like it was really scary at the time because he didn't know, like it was just a sudden thing. So yeah, like he ended up in a wheelchair and that, and the doctors and that told him that he'd never walk again. But Andy is one of these people that is so determined, and he does walk. He doesn't walk much, but he's still up and he can walk now.
Okay, good.
So I asked him a while ago, did he wish that he'd went over to America, and he said no. He said he was glad that he did what he did over here. So yeah, like he never went over. He always stayed in Oz.
Yeah, but I mean, look, if his story does anything, it should always tell someone. Doctor tells you something, get a second opinion. And if someone tells you that you're gonna be a certain way for the rest of your days, and it's not a good thing, okay, keep fighting. And I'm happy that he's walking. Good for him. Good for you, Andy. Just keep doing that, and maybe you'll start jogging soon. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know what can happen in the world. All right, so now you were trained by Andy Harpus, and you held a lot of independent titles with various organizations, but you've been in the world of pro wrestling. People have a misconception. They think, okay, someone's going to get in there, they're going to wrestle. It's all about doing what you need to do in the ring. But the reality is, it's not always the best wrestlers in the world that become the superstars. You mentioned Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper is not a great wrestler per se. He is a great personality. He is a talent. He can rile a crowd up. Just him talking gets people going crazy. Just his antics, the fans embrace him, and that's what makes him him. So, but you've been working for a while, and you've been building your own brand.
Yes.
Okay, so let's hear that process of you building the brand of Niki Nitro.
Niki Nitro, like the thing that helped me with my brand was doing a lot of managing, and that's where, because originally, as I said before, my name was Wildfire, and 2 years later I changed my name, my whole complete character, and became a heel. And I was part of a faction named XDC, Extreme Damage Control, where I managed a former wrestler named Cobra Ty. And through him, like my character started building and doing a lot of the managing and that. Like I learned how to work the crowd, as they say, and that's where like more confidence come into the character. But don't get me wrong, like Niki Nitro took 8 years to perfect, and even now there's a lot of there's a lot more that I need to do with the Niki Nitro character. It's just that when I step into that character, being a heel, I find it like prime example. There's a company that I work for in Canberra, down here. They're called ICW,
mm-hmm.
And when I first went to that company, they put me over as a babyface. And I've been working heel for such a long time, and we had a story, and I ended up turning, and I turned that crowd in less than 5 minutes against me, from them to absolutely loving me. And with that character, with the heel character, I find stepping into that heel character a lot easier than what I do finding being the babyface,
mm-hmm.
only because it's something that I've got to work harder at. And I enjoy being that character. And, but as I say, like, there's so much more to learn. And at the end of the day, like, I'm glad that I've got to where I've got to now with my character, but there's always a lot more improvement that I need on it.
Well, you're always, I don't care what you do, whether it's pro wrestling, whether it's acting, singing, whatever it may be, there's always room for improvement because we all need the help. Okay, you're not every because we're not perfect. We're not perfect. People are not perfect. We are imperfect. We're flawed. So we have to work on everything, and the harder you work on it, the more successful you can be. But Nikki, I want you to hang on. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back with you. So, listeners, just hang in there. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back with Niki Nitro on the UCW radio show after these messages.
Hey, tell me now, what can I take? Anything to not feel this way for so long. It has stayed the same. What the hell does this all mean? 'Cause nothing's making any sense to me. I'm so out of my head, she said. It's alright, tell me I'll be fine. Get me through the night tonight and make it out of here alive. Hey, I'm down on my last cigarette, wondering how low I can get when I surprise myself sometimes. It's so cold and dark down here. Wish I could make myself disappear. I'm so out of my head, she said. Oh, it's alright, tell me I'll be fine. Get me through the night tonight and make it out of here It's alright, tell me I'll be fine. Get me through the night tonight and make it out here alive. It's alright, tell me I'll be fine. Get me through the night tonight and make it out of here alive.
Hey, you want to see something cool? Check this out. My name's Nitro, and I'm gonna rock your world.
Oh my God! Look at that!
Wow! Oh my God! Along with my boys Mikey and Joey, I need the Shalama Brothers stack. We're knocking down walls and taking names. The brothers actually getting something done, and everyone gets to play.
Progress is slow. We should be finished by Christmas.
Girls with power tools, rule. We're not just bringing back the den, baby. We're making mega dens that'll blow you away.
Wow!
Nitro, it's unbelievable. It's cool. You want some of this? Facial recognition, motion activating. They're gonna wet their pants.
This may be the coolest room I have ever seen.
Because life is too short to live without a mega den.
I like their size,
I love their texture,
their shape, feel. They complete me.
Big, small, it doesn't matter.
Yes, I like boobies.
Love boobies.
Yes, I love boobies.
Yes, I love boobies. I love boobs.
Most of us know someone who's been affected by breast cancer.
My friend.
My piano teacher.
My sister.
My aunt.
My teacher.
My 2 aunts.
My Aunt Rachel.
I beat breast cancer.
We can beat this together.
Show the world how much you care.
And join us in the fight. Because it's more than just boobs.
It's life.
DDP Yoga. It ain't your mama's yoga.
Over the last 12 years, I developed this amazing program I now call DDP Yoga, specifically to strengthen and heal my own body. It's the only reason I was able to wrestle in the ring well over 15 years and 3 world championships. And now, I want to bring this amazing workout to you, and it will change the way you think about the word yoga. DDP Yoga is all about zero impact, kick-ass cardio, increased flexibility, and core strength conditioning. It's like nothing you have ever seen or done before.
DDP Yoga. It ain't your mama's yoga.
All right, welcome back to the UCW radio show, and we're here with pro wrestler and actress Niki Nitro. Niki, welcome back to the show.
Hello.
Hello. Put another shrimp on the barbie. All right, but yeah, as
G'day.
G'day. Yeah, forces for beer, mate. Anyway, enough of the joking around. Oh my God. But no, Niki is coming to us from Australia, and as we said in the segment before, she's been wrestling for over a decade, and she is primed and ready to go. And again, in my opinion, I think that she's going to probably get picked up by the WWE or TNA sometime in the near future. So we left off, talking about what were we talking about, Niki? I forget.
Hey, you've already forgotten.
I know.
It's about my character.
No, it was about your character. See, you know why I forgot? Because we had a little break there, and I was thinking about my next question for you. Trust me, my job is not easy. Okay, no, but yeah, we were talking about your character and the development. You know, look, I mean, and I guess in today's after the WWE and they went through that Attitude Era, things kind of changed up a little bit because it was good to be bad. Okay, and even with the NWO and everything, it was good to be bad. Is all of a sudden the heels, I say quote unquote heels became the favorites. Okay, so now there's a crossover where it's like with Steve Austin and all that stuff. Basically, you can be a face and a heel all wrapped into one and get the fans behind you because it's just an interesting time in pro wrestling. So where do you sit right now with what side of the fence are you on now?
I am a tweener.
Mm-hmm. I knew it.
Yeah. But in saying that, my heelish side comes out a lot more.
Okay, all right. But that's what sells tickets. People want to see that. And again, look, the getting involved in pro wrestling, the world of pro wrestling is not easy. Okay, people have to, they know it's not easy. People work a lot of years and they don't make it to the top. Okay, because they're not good enough, or they just don't put enough into it, or they just can't survive doing it, because on the independent circuit you will starve if you don't have another job. You will starve.
Definitely, yeah.
All right, so
you can't live off it.
No, but you put your time in, like thousands of independent wrestlers before you. They put their time into it. They work hard, and hopefully they look for that opportunity. But the issue at hand is that in order for that opportunity to work out, they have to do what you're doing, making a well-rounded deal.
Yes.
Okay, and that's what you're doing. So let's talk about that.
You would like to know what my other jobs are?
I would like to know how you are how you're making yourself well-rounded. What makes Niki Nitro? What would make you an asset, a true asset, in your words, to the WWE or to TNA?
That I am willing to take on constructive criticism and always open to learning new things. There's a lot of workers out there that are extremely egotistical and that don't take on board others' advice. And the thing that's made me the way I am today was something when I first got into this business that Andy told me. And it's always stuck with me, and I've always followed it. And he turned around and he said, no matter how long you're in this industry for, no matter how long or how good you're going to be, you've always got to remember that there's somebody out there that is a lot better than you, and you've got their life in your hand. Mm-hmm. And since then, I've always been very professional when it comes to my personal character, the way that I present myself. And I don't get involved personally with other workers in this industry. Like, otherwise, like in saying that, like I don't date wrestlers, because if things don't work out, then majority of the time the female ends up leaving. Mm-hmm. And which is quite sad, because like if she's got something to offer, and she's dating a wrestler and it doesn't work out, then all that hard work and effort that she's put in, building herself up to be, is just pretty much wasted. So like I've gone through my career, with that on top of my head and like that advice that Andy gave me. So I think that I could be an asset for the WWE or TNA because of the way that I I present myself pretty much, and I'm open to suggestions.
And you would be a good example, because as far as putting you out there and being a face of a company, that you would be able to represent the company in the proper fashion when you're out there with the fans or doing autograph signings and things like that, right?
Yes.
Okay, and that's where the money ticket is, because they, both these organizations, doesn't matter what, where you are, representing their brand is important, because that brand is worth money, and no organization wants anyone getting out of control. And and even when you go out, from what I understand, even when you go out, you're not even too much into drinking, so you really don't go out that often. Which is
you know what? Like I'm like a hermit. It's pretty bad. Like I've done my my partying over the years and that. Now, like it doesn't faze me. I'm not a drinker. I'm very much into the gym. I like to keep fit and like healthy. I don't smoke, and I've never smoked, and I never will smoke. But like keeping fit and healthy is my thing, because to make it in these industries, you've got to have a certain look. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't realize that, fair enough, it could be your works, but yet again, it could not be. Mm-hmm. It could be the way that you look, like your personal brand, as they would say. But so like keeping fit and healthy is extremely important to me. And being like in this industry, everybody is going to judge you. So like I'm pretty much like a square. Nah, but that's all right. That's just me.
But you know what? Sometimes it's good to be square, as they said in a song one time, I believe. But that's good stuff. But and also you're tough as nails, because you love playing rugby. Okay, and
I played rugby for 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did rugby league when I was younger, and like I've always been that typical tomboy. Like I have no issue with getting in there and getting dirty.
No, that.
But at the end of the day, it's just me. I am a tomboy, but I'm proud of it. Any woman that gets into wrestling is a tomboy.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's okay to be a tomboy, because I mean, look, from powerlifting, rugby, and skating, all this stuff. You're active and you keep yourself physically moving, and that actually is helping. It has helped you with pro wrestling.
Yep, definitely.
Okay.
And just me, like physically, because there's a lot of people out there that are my age that are very unhealthy and extremely unfit. So I think keeping fit and healthy is like the key to to youth.
And I agree with you that your training and everything and keeping active just is definitely an enhancement to life. But now I want to talk more about the real Nikki, okay, outside of wrestling. What do you do for fun? Beyond your rugby and stuff. What do you do for fun?
I really like to draw. Like it's not fun, but it's something that I really enjoy doing, and I love the outdoors. Like I love nature. So like if I take the dog for a walk or whatever, like it's like me time. So I like there's much me time that I can get. I'm happy. But like it's not fun, but it's fun to me because I actually get some time to do something because I'm pretty busy every other time.
Okay, so you have simple needs.
Yeah, I'm very simple. I'm a pretty down to earth, simple type of girl. I'm not a high maintenance girl. I'm just me, just taking as I am.
Oh, that's good. That means that you're going to make somebody happy because that guy's not going to have to spend a lot on making you happy.
Yeah,
that's good stuff. Now you've been dabbling over the over the past 6 to 12 months. You've been dabbling in acting. You've been trying to go down that road too because it's all involved in the world of entertainment. So tell us how that's working out for you.
Sounds fantastic. I'm an actor on an Australian comedy TV show called Housos, and if I don't know if you guys have heard of Fat Pizza, but it's the maker and creators of Fat Pizza, a fella named Paulie Fennick, and I'm on the Housos versus Authority movie, which was released on the 1st of November here in Australian cinemas. Mm-hmm. And from there, I was offered a contract on the 1st of November. So at the moment, we're doing the TV series, like we're filming the TV series, which will be coming out in 2013. But if people are interested, you can go on YouTube and type in Housos, and that's pretty much what I'm doing. But the season 2 is a lot more funnier than season 1. I'm sorry.
No, you're not one-dimensional.
No,
but that's good. That makes you valuable. Check you out.
Yeah. It was when I first did my first scene in the movie, I was a bit stood back just because actually TV filming, like movie making, is extremely different to wrestling in front of a live audience. And I was so used to working in front of a live crowd for so many years because I did theater and I did choirs, and I was always into my drama. So something that's on TV and having to talk into a TV, but into the video camera, but not into the video camera, if you understand where I'm coming from, is extremely different. And it's just that learning process. But I'm enjoying it. It's really good, and I'm really happy that I've been given this opportunity, and especially to be in a movie.
Yeah, well, I mean it's different, of course, but still, it's just another dimension. Adds another dimension to your skills, which will come in handy because if you're, again, it comes down to branding. If you're very involved in if you're honing your acting skills, that only helps you in other areas. And now your name's getting out there further. You become more familiar. Your value goes up. And for any organization that you go with, so you're putting all the pieces together. That's great.
Thank you.
Little,
I'm trying.
Little puzzle you're putting together. But that's fantastic stuff. That's good stuff. Now, I mean, with acting, did you find that to be a hard transition for you?
Not really, no. Only because I'm in entertainment wrestling, and entertainment wrestling is acting. The only difference is that I'm working in front of a live crowd when I'm wrestling. And when I'm TV, movie making, I'm not working in front of an audience. But it's scripted. It's
right.
Extremely, you've got a script on, TV works and movie making. So you have to learn your lines and stuff like that. But when I first got into this industry, the wrestling industry, I was our matches were always scripted.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's probably going to hate me for saying that, but that helped me at the start, and then from there, things changed because you get more experience and yada yada. So I'm finding it. I'm finding it a lot easier to do to be an actor on TV than what I thought. But I'm enjoying it. It's something that I really, really like to do. So if you like something, of course you're going to put more of an effort into it.
Yeah, and look, the WWE, they're top guys that have talent. They've actually had the opportunity to do things in TV and film. Okay, and they've become very successful in doing it. Some not so successful. Okay, but others very successful. You look at someone like Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Okay, you look at, I forget who else of late.
You got John Cena.
Yeah, John Cena did a couple of movies. Things like that. They give the opportunity because they encourage that. Because at the end of the day, you know what? If you're a box office draw, that's money in the bank. And,
that's right.
And if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense, and it's not going to happen. So so that's you don't have sense over there. So I didn't think you were going to get that joke.
Yeah.
You got to get with the American humor. That's going to help you. But so that's fantastic that you're doing that. I think that you're a talent. I've seen some of your footage. I've seen what you can do. I believe that with more female pro wrestlers stepping up and actually not just going over there and doing these stupid things and just to look pretty, that they look good, they're fit, they look good, they're sexy, and they're out there actually getting hardcore with each other. You have that happening. You have MMA, beautiful women fighting in the cage. Okay,
yeah,
and you see it more and more. Wow, you look at I forget her name. She's a champion now. I just saw her on TV the other day on Showtime Sports with Jim Rome, and the name escapes me. But she's pretty. She gets in there. She has no problem pounding somebody, and the reality is people like that. And we're in that mode right now. So I think all your skills and everything, I believe, are going to make in one organization. You're going to become an asset to someone, and I see that happening. And I also believe that with your personality, that if you pursue your acting career, which I think you are, that in the next year or two, we're going to see a lot more of you on that end as well.
Thank you.
No, well, and in other words, I'm saying that you have all the makings of being, being a star, and I think that it's going to happen for you. I think the only thing that I see that's holding you back is your location. So you're crippled by location. Yeah. So, but you know, we live in a social media world. The world gets smaller and smaller, and it's just a matter of, you know, getting someone's attention, which I think is going to wind up happening sooner than later.
If I was offered a contract by either the WWE or TNA, and they were willing, you know, like to sponsor me to be over there, I would jump for the opportunity without hesitation. I would leave tomorrow. But the only thing that stops me is that for me to work over in the States, I need a sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like I've searched all avenues through that, and that's the only avenue that I can go.
Yeah, but with these organizations, you know, you're absolutely correct. As far as the legal system, you know, when you come here to the U.S., you need to have the approval to work. You need to be sponsored by a company that can file the papers in order for you to do this. And but they keep in mind, you're talking about two international companies. So if you think for a second they don't have that ability, then you're kidding yourself, because they do it all the time with other people, with other wrestlers that are international wrestlers. So with that said, okay, you know, if either the WWE or TNA came and they offered you a developmental or development contract, you would be very much so open to that.
Of course, yes, yep.
Yeah, well, that would be a big punch in the arm, because that would be your coup de grace. That would be the top, you know, as far as your wrestling career is concerned.
That's what I need. I just need that extra push for the zest. So yeah, if I was approached by the company and, you know, offered, I would take that up, because that's something that I've wanted to do ever since I was a little girl. So yeah, I don't know. It'd be a dream come true. I'd probably like fall over and faint.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd end up doing it.
Yeah, well, you know what? You have to live your dream if you want to make it, and it's just about getting that done. But I also see, as far as I said, you know, I know you're going to continue to pursue your acting career, which is great, and I think you're going to be successful in that as well. You know, you have the attitude, you have the determination, you have the heart, you know, so I can see that really working out for you. And I think it would be silly, you know, with the talent roster that the WWE and TNA, with what they're looking to do in the female division, I think someone like yourself would be good in there, because as you grow, I mean, you can also become a mentor for those that are coming up as well, because you've been doing it for a while. Mm-hmm. You know, so. But
yet again, there's some people out there that have wrestled. There's some people that have wrestled a lot less than me, and know a lot more than me. But with my character, I'm very confident in my character.
Yeah, well,
so that's something that I know that I could offer.
Yeah, well, I think you would be an asset. Okay, so now with all that said, and I don't want to run it into the ground, because people are gonna listen to the show and they're gonna say, "Oh, why do you keep saying that? Why do you keep saying that?" Yeah. Well, I'm saying certain things that I believe to be true in my eyes. Okay, and I don't mention certain things if I don't believe it to possibly be a reality. You know, a lot of people have come up in the ranks and they've made a name for themselves, and I think that you're on that path. You know, it's just a matter of having an opportunity to work with one of the big two, and I think you're going to make them proud. Okay, so now you have the acting, you have everything going on. Now, what else for you, would make your life complete if you had the wrestling contract, you had certain things? What else would make your life well-rounded in the immediate future?
Getting to the top. That's my number one ideal goal. I'm very happy with my life at the moment. Like, don't get me wrong, like, my life hasn't always been easy. Like, growing up, it was extremely hard. But majority of the time, the people that struggle, you know, in their previous, like, life, as I would say, you know, like, you know, in the past, end up becoming successful in their future because they've lived life and, you know, they appreciate the things, like, you know, that they're given. And my mum, you know, like, my mum brought myself up, and, like, we were always taught to respect and appreciate everything, you know, that we got. And, you know, if we wanted something, we had to work for it to get it. And I've always done that. So, like, everything that I have, it's because I got it for myself, not because somebody gave it to me.
There you go, and
So,
that's a great attitude to have, and that's a great way to pursue things in your life. And you being a metalhead, I'm sure that you have no problem breaking down doors if you need to get to where you need to be. Hey, there you go. All right, Nikki, it was fantastic having you on the show. You know, I like featuring up-and-comers that have talent. And you're one of those that I believe, you know, in 6 months, a year, that you're gonna, you know, I'm gonna hear more about you doing greater things, bigger things, and I'm gonna be proud that, you know, that someone saw what I see in you, and I'm gonna be happy about that because, you know, you have the talent, you have the charisma, you have everything. All it is one of the big two stepping up and helping you to achieve your dreams. And, again, in acting, too, you know, I think you're going to do well. So with that said, okay, why don't you let our listeners know how they can follow your career, find out more about you, and, you know, stalk you, for lack of a better word.
Stalking.
Yeah.
Hey, no worries, stalk ahead.
Yeah.
I can be found on Twitter at Niki Nitro 22. That's with the capital Niki, capital Nitro. You can find me on YouTube at Niki Nitro PWAQ. I'm also on Tout. I tout to fans and that. If you've got questions or whatever, you can ask me. I'll reply. That is also Niki Nitro 22. And I have my own website as well, which is still in the process of getting developed. So there's not really much on that. But yeah, like, you guys can follow that if you want. But yeah, that's at Miss Niki Nitro. www.nikinitro.com. So yeah, if anybody would like to book me or whatever, you can contact me on my email, which is missnikinitro@hotmail.com.
Well, people still use Hotmail.
Yeah.
You got to go to Gmail. You got to make it happen.
Yeah.
No, but that's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's good. I think our listeners definitely check out Niki Nitro. Follow her on Twitter, Niki Nitro 22. Check out our website. Check her out on YouTube, and find out more about her, because I believe you're going to see more of her on a broader scale, on an international scale. So with that said, Nikki, again, thank you for coming on the show, and I want to have you back on down the road when you hit these goals that you have set. I want you to come back on the show and tell us how you feel about it.
Definitely, it'd be an honor. Thank you so much, Louis.
Excellent, thank you.
Wait. Before I go, can I please say something?
Go right ahead.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for the support, my family, my friends that have always stood by me throughout the years. And, yeah, I'll be hoping to see you guys in the near future. And thank you so much for this interview, Louis. I really appreciate it.
No problem,
and thank you to UCW Radio Show.
All right. Thank you, Nikki. And we'll see some more of you, hopefully in the near future, on the big and little screen.
Initiating shutdown sequence.
You're listening to UCW Radio. In your face.
What is your major malfunction?
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.